Welcome everyone, join us today as we pay tribute to the life and legacy of screaming Lord Sutch, a true eccentric, pioneer of shock rock, and a political maverick with a larger-than-life personality. So let's dive in. Screaming Lord Sutch, born David Edward Sutch on the 10th of November 1940, in Hampstead, London, in England. He was zodiac sign Scorpio. Sutch was born in North London. His father, a war reserve policeman, tragically lost his life in a Blitz-related accident when Sutch was just 10 months old. His mother, a devoted Dickens fan, named him David after David Copperfield. The two shared a small flat in Kilburn for nearly 15 years, facing financial hardship while she worked as a cleaner and shop assistant. Their main sources of entertainment were Saturday morning cinema and the Metropolitan Music Hall on Edgware Road. In 1956, after leaving school, Sutch and his mother relocated to South Harrow, where he took up work as a window cleaner. Sutch discovered his passion for rock and roll the same year after hearing "Rock Around the Clock" on his Crystal radio. His first public performances took place at the Cannibal Pot Coffee Bar, a popular biker hangout on Harrow Road. Inspired by Screaming Jay Hawkins, one of his musical idols, he adopted the name Screaming Lord Sutch, 3rd Earl of Harrow, despite having no aristocratic ties, a change legally allowed under England's deed poll laws at the time. In the early 1960s, he became one of the first musicians in England to sport long hair, reportedly 18 inches in length, making him a trendsetter for the rock scene. Aware of his vocal limitations, Sutch focused on theatricality, drawing inspiration from Hawkins and blending rock and roll with gothic horror. His stage performances featured dramatic props, including an axe, daggers, skulls, and a black coffin from which he would emerge dressed as Jack the Ripper. In 1961, while performing at London's renowned Two Eyes Coffee Bar in Soho, Sutch was discovered by maverick producer Joe Meek. He soon formed his first backing band, the Raving Savages, and began recording at Meek's home studio on Holloway Road in Islington. Many of their records were banned by the BBC, a move that only heightened their notoriety. Though they never achieved chart success, the Savages were a formidable live band, featuring musicians like Ritchie Blackmore, Andy Wren, and Carlo Little. Their early releases included Till the Following Night, their debut single, Jack the Ripper, Dracula's Daughter, and I'm a Hog for You Baby. At one point, Sutch briefly rebranded the band as Lord Caesar Sutch and the Roman Empire, complete with Roman soldier costumes and a horse-drawn chariot for transportation. His partnership with Meek ended in a financial dispute, and throughout the 1960s, the Savages underwent numerous lineup changes, including the departure of guitarist Ritchie Blackmore, who later co-founded Deep Purple. In May 1964, Sutch took advantage of a loophole in UK broadcasting laws to establish Radio Sutch, one of Britain's first pirate radio stations. The station frequently featured his own music, tracks from Friends, and late-night readings with a risque edge. Initially broadcasting from the Cornucopia, a fishing trawler, operations were plagued by technical issues. The vessel doubled as a fishing boat in the mornings before switching to radio broadcasts in the afternoon. Eventually, the station relocated to Shivering Sands, a former wartime fort in the Thames estuary near Southend. Facing competition from the newly launched Radio Caroline, and struggling with a weaker signal reaching London, Sutch lost interest in the venture and, in September 1964, sold it to his manager, Reg Calvert, who rebranded it as Radio City. In January 1968, Sutch travelled to the United States, aiming to expand his career, and spent much of the late 1960s and early 1970s living in Los Angeles. During Led Zeppelin's 1969 US tour, he connected with manager Peter Grant, who helped him secure a recording deal with Atlantic Records. He also crossed paths with Jimmy Page, who was scouting studios, and convinced both Page and John Bonham to test the facilities at Mirror Sounds by recording several rock standards. Without their knowledge, Sutch later added his own lyrics over the recordings. In 1970, he released Lord Sutch and Heavy Friends, featuring contributions from Page, Bonham, Jeff Beck, Nicky Hopkins, and Noel Redding. However, the musicians were unaware their recordings would be used for an album, leading to disappointment. In 1971, he formed a new band for the Carshalton Park Rock and Roll Festival, secretly recording the performance, which was later released in 1972 as Hands of Jack the Ripper. Featuring Keith Moon, Ritchie Blackmore, and Nick Simper, though it failed to chart. To promote his music, Sutch toured the US in a Union Jack painted 1955 Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith. In 1972, he made headlines after being briefly detained for leading 5 nude women to Downing Street in protest of the lack of rock music on the BBC. His final album, Alive and Well, was recorded in 1980 with Pat Travers, Rick Nielsen, and Klaus Voormann. Numerous compilation albums followed in the years after. Politically, in 1963, Sutch entered politics, running in Stratford-upon-Avon under his National Teenage Party, NTP. His platform included lowering the voting age, commercial radio, and all-day pub openings, all later enacted. Though he won just 208 votes, he stood in 40 elections over 30 years, earning a Guinness World Record. He founded the Monster Raving Loony Party in 1983, known for satirical policies and his flamboyant campaign style. His best result was 1,114 votes in 1994, while his 1990 Bootle showing helped end the Social Democrats. Facing bankruptcy in 1995, he secured financial backing to continue. By 1997, rising deposits forced him out, marking his party's final national campaign. Despite his flamboyant persona, Sutch struggled with periods of depression. Tragically, on the 16th of June 1999, at his mother's home he took his own life by hanging, with many believing he was deeply affected by her passing in late 1997. He had been scheduled to perform in Las Vegas and tour the US at the time of his death. At the coroner's inquest, his fiancée, Yvonne Elwood, revealed that he had been diagnosed with manic depression and was being treated with antidepressants, suggesting he suffered from clinical depression. Though he never married, Sutch is survived by his son, Tristan Lord Gwyn Sutch, born in 1975 to American model Than Rendesi. And there you have it. Though screaming Lord Sutch's life ended in tragedy, his legacy as a trailblazer in both music and politics lives on. His influence can be seen in the theatrical performances of later rock artists, and his unique brand of humor and rebellion remains unforgettable. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.